Squat, bench, deadlift. Do you need to do them to build an ultimate physique? Now, calling out everyone in the US, you absolutely love bench press. I went to the Arnold Classic in Columbus, Ohio about 2 years ago, and I was shocked about how everyone loves this bench press exercise. In my opinion, humble opinion, I don't think it's necessarily the greatest exercise for developing your chest, for developing your shoulders, or for developing your triceps. And it also has a very high risk of injury. I actually like barbell presses on an incline or a decline. And obviously this has a lot to do with your sternum angle, which is going to make a big difference in terms of your biomechanics and how that works. In my opinion, I think for developing your chest, there's a lot of machines that have a lot more better strength profiles and to be a lot more suited to actually building muscle mass. And I think dumbbells work very well. The only caveat with dumbbells are the ability to load them once you get stronger becomes difficult because it becomes awkward just to get them up there. So for me, I'd recommend an incline barbell or a decline barbell over a flat bench. I don't think is the greatest exercise for developing your physique, even though you guys love it for the NFL Combine. Comment below if you agree or you disagree. Number 2, squat. So this exercise obviously gets very closely correlated with sports performance, and it has a huge carryover to that. Now, it depends specifically what your goal is. Is it to build maximal muscle mass, or is it to build strength for performance in sports? Now, when you're looking at developing strength and developing muscle tissue, they're two very different tools. And the real question with this is the answer is that it depends what your biomechanics and how you set up. So, for example, I have long femurs. The distance from my knee to my hip is a long way, which means for me squatting, I tend to load my lower back a lot. So from that point of view, I can't get a lot of knee flexion, which means that for me, for developing my quads, it's a poor choice of exercise. However, if I, for example, was to raise my heel, that would then automatically mean that I can then get more knee flexion because it also takes out the fact I've got terrible dorsiflexion in my ankles. So it would allow me to get closer to having my hamstrings and my calves to focus more on my quads and develop those. In my opinion, a much better exercise for developing your legs instead of a barbell squat would be something like a hack squat, where you've got a very stable external environment and you can focus on putting constant tension through that muscle without having so many stability issues throughout the range of movement. Deadlifts. Now, deadlifts are an awesome exercise, and of the 3, I would say they're my preference of an exercise I would look to include within a program. Caveat with this again is it depends on your biomechanics and whether you actually like enjoying the exercise. The reason why deadlift is a great exercise is it literally pretty much trains every single muscle in your entire body, from your calves, your feet, to your grips, to traps, everything. So there's a huge amount you can take from that, and it's a very functional movement that trains the whole body to work as an absolute machine. Now, when we're looking to develop our physique, one of the things I think is very important is actually teaching our body to work together as a unit. And the great thing with the deadlift is focusing on core bracing and getting your body to support your spine using muscular tissue, not using things like belts. So with the deadlifts, everyone loves it for social media. You can try and put as much weight on the bar as you can, and it's a relatively safe exercise you can try and max out. Unless you completely blow your back out, you can pretty much just drop the weight. It's not like an incline bench or a squat, which can cut you in half. So anyone who hasn't seen the Ryan Crowley incident, check my YouTube video with that, with Ryan Crowley. Lewis kindly put a link here, it'll be interesting for anyone to watch. And then we find out what can go wrong when you're lifting very heavy and too much weight. Now, in regards to deadlifting, I would suggest that people, what they have to be careful with, and with squatting and with, not so much with benching, but it's the amount of loading you're putting on your spine, because this has a big impact on your central nervous system and your ability to recover, which is one of the reasons why I don't think these 3 exercises are necessarily the most optimal in terms of developing your physique as a whole, if physique development is your goal, because you have to look at the amount of recovery demand you're putting on your body against the amount of muscle growth stimulation you're creating. And with things like a deadlift, a squat, you're putting so much stress through your body and through your spine that it can cause issues. So one of the big things I like all of my clients to look at is how much we're loading their spine over a week, and that's one of the things we really look at programming in. So big take home point for me on these things is that you've got to find exercises that fit you and fit your biomechanics, because everyone is different. One thing I would say as well is if you love an exercise, then do it, because there's probably a reason you love it. If you fucking hate bench press, squat, deadlift, don't do it, because there's probably a reason you don't like doing it. And inherently, if you don't like doing something, you're not going to push yourself as much as you do. If you love deadlifting, do it. That would be my summary of those 3 exercises. Drop us a comment below, let us know what you think. Smash the like, hit the subscribe. Want to know any more information or learn any more tips, tricks to how you can build your ultimate physique? Check out www.shreddershow.com, which is our podcast where we have tons of content coming out there constantly with some of the world's best trainers and athletes. And if you want help with your own fitness journey directly one-to-one with me guiding you through the whole step, hit the link below this video and you can book in your free strategy call with myself and the CJ coaching team. And we'll see you in the next video.